I wasn't born this way. I actually had my first accident when I was in my primary school on my way back from school. My kind of hearing loss was severe moderate hearing loss. But that did not stop my dreams anyway. The love I once found is gone, and it is due to the hearing issues too. He got tired and got frustrated of the hearing issues, and he walked away after making me a mother.
Millions of people all over the world live with disabling hearing loss. Vast majority of these people live in low and middle income societies where they do not have access to ear and hearing care services. Without suitable intervention, hearing loss poses a significant challenge to those lives that are affected. My name is Margaret Opera, and this is Spotlight.
Single mother of one, Veronica shares a sympathetic story of losing a complete hearing, which started after a National Youth Service call a few years ago. Although hearing impaired, Veronica's disability did not stop her from pursuing her dreams and running a local primary school in Ikorodu, the community where she resides. She takes us on the journey of how she lost the ability to hear.
My name is Veronica Alvarez. I'm a mass communication graduate and education as well. I wasn't born this way. I actually had my first accident when I was in my primary school on my way back from school, and I was hit by a motorcyclist, a careless motorcyclist I should say, and that was the beginning of my deafness, as my immediate family noticed that I couldn't hear well. After several calls, they just keep repeating a particular thing before I could hear. And the second accident that actually made it more severe happened on my way from my NYC, on my way to Bayelsa, where I was posted to serve. And the second accident happened. God sparing me, the driver died immediately, and I was right beside the driver there, and God spared me. After so much treatment and so much examination, the ENT doctor finally said that I was hard of hearing, and my kind of hearing loss was severe moderate hearing loss. But that did not stop my dreams anyway. I decided to continue with my education. After my NYC, I proceeded to study education because I had this dream of teaching, and I love children all around me, and that was how I baited Charisma School in the year 2018 September with just the hearing school, where we started with about 14 children. Being a business, some people will come, some people will go, debtors will owe, creditors will pay, and that has been the norm of the day with Charisma School. This year, January 2021, I decided to add the deaf school to it. Having been knowledgeable about the deaf community and how to teach a deaf child, starting with the basic signs and other basic communication skills I already got. I mixed up with the deaf community last year, 2020, exactly October 2020, where I was made the Deaf Women Association of Nigeria Lagos Chapter Secretary, and things started taking place from there. And parents wanted to enroll their children in my school, especially the deaf ones, mostly for my friendliness and hospitality character, and things has been going on well. It hasn't really been easy for me communicating with my hearing friends, especially when they got to know that I have hearing issues. It hasn't really been easy in that particular aspect, because they seem frustrated, like, but Vera is hearing before now, what happened? So especially my old friends and my childhood friends, when they come around and they notice that I'm not hearing very well, they kind of think maybe I'm kind of forming or kind of trying to be snobbish or something, not knowing that God has changed the system. So Some will accept it, some will try to accept, some will pretend to accept, and at the end of the day, the hearing issues got to help me know those that are real friends and those that are true friends, because true friends tend to stick and stay with me even though the situation can be so frustrating. It's so frustrating to talk to a deaf person. Yes, it is. Even me myself, I try to put myself in my hearing friends' shoes. Like after they've repeated a particular thing like twice, thrice, and I'm still not hearing, I'm like, I was like, sorry, I understand. I was just like, but all the same, it has not really been easy. Some of them I'll not say anything. Some of them have kind of taken it to look as if maybe I'm a fool, like I don't know what I'm doing again. Who cares? I don't care. Life goes on, and I think I'm happy. I'm happy the way I am now, because it has kind of helped me limit myself from those that don't really want me, and it has also helped me to stay focused and minimize the rates of distraction that is around me. That has been one of the advantages of my hearing loss. It has affected my relationship seriously. It affected my relationship with my friends. Like as I am presently now, I can say I just have 2 or 3 friends, female friends. Then talking about relationship, I'm not in a relationship yet because I don't think I need one now. And let me say, maybe I haven't found love, because the love I once found is gone, and it is due to the hearing issues too. He got tired and got frustrated of the hearing issues, and he walked away after making me a mother.
A high level of unconscious stigmatization of deaf persons in the country is caused by communication gap, not just between the deaf and the society, but particularly between them and their immediate families. Hearing family members make little or no effort to learn the sign language in order to efficiently communicate with their deaf children.
Yes, I get stigmatized sometimes, like my dad or my brother that I stay with. Sometimes most of the things they want to tell me, they will not tell me, because by the time they finish telling me, by the time they try to tell me, I will not hear. They repeat it, I will not hear. They're like, she will not hear, Jerry. And sometimes, maybe if somebody is knocking on the gate now, and I'm inside and I'm not hearing, my brother or my daddy, being the youngest, because I'm the youngest, they will expect me to go and open the gate, and I'm not hearing the knock. It's the person that is hearing the knock that's supposed to go and open the gate. But them that are hearing the knock, they'll want me to go and open the gate. And by the time I don't hear, they'll start shouting, can't you hear that they're knocking at the gate? Come on, go and open the gate. Or can't you do this, all those kind of, and they don't make me feel, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I just feel left alone. And most of the things that is happening in the house, or even in the community that I'm supposed to know about, they will not tell me, because maybe they assume that I already know. I don't know who they want me to know from if they don't tell me. They don't tell me things. They keep things away from me because they feel that when they explain to me, I will not hear. So they just keep things away from me, and I feel bad about it because I don't feel carried along. And concerning Charisma School, I had to name Charisma School after my daughter, my only daughter, after her daddy left. Initially, the school was birthed out of my hard work and let me say my consistency with people, and my I don't know, my hard work. Let me just put it that way, my hard work. And Charisma coming forth that same period where God blessed me, where God used people to bless me with little funds that I used to start the school. I had to name the school after her because she was just like a blessing. I wasn't expecting a school. I wasn't expecting a school that year at all. I wasn't. And God just blessed me all of a sudden with a school, with the money, and with a baby all at once. So I just had to name the school after her because the name Charisma was given to me from my dream, and I fell in love with the name and decided to name both my child and my school Charisma. And That's why the name of the school is called Charisma School. Concerning hearing aid, yes, I have tried using hearing aid. I have bought my first hearing aid by myself. That was during my NYC. I tried to gather up some money and I got the first hearing aid. The hearing aid is just there, it doesn't last. Truly, it sounds like a microphone and it also aids my hearing, but it doesn't last. After the first 3 months of me using the hearing aid, in fact, my first hearing aid did not last up to 3 months, and I got that hearing aid for 110,000 naira. But it did not last up to 3 months and it got spoiled. My dad decided to get me another one, which he did actually. And the second hearing aid was gotten after my NYC. That was 2015 when I came back from my NYC. And the hearing aid still did not last. While we were jubilating about the new year 2016, the hearing aid got spoiled. Just like that. Not like maybe it fell off or something, no. I just woke up one day trying to use the hearing aid and it wasn't working anymore. And this was something that a hearing aid I was just gotten maybe 3 months ago. Then the third hearing aid was kind of gathered by friends and family members. They all joined money together to get me a hearing aid, and the same thing happened. After 4 months, the hearing aid got spoiled.
Dr. Afolabi Simeon is my name. I'm an audiologist. And as an audiologist, I concern with individuals with hearing loss. It's a science of hearing loss and rehabilitation of hearing difficulties. And I'm working with the BSA Hearing and Speech Center based in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. When we look at the hearing loss in itself, we like to see it when we relate to a child and when we relate to adults. So you have pediatric hearing loss and adult hearing loss. And so for children, there are a lot of causes that can result into hearing loss for a child. You look at causes that could be before the child is born, or when the child is being born, or after the child is born. And mostly when the child is being born, you look at conditions during pregnancy. Does the child have enough oxygen before delivery? Does the child have jaundice at delivery? The child have measles during delivery? Does the child have meningitis when the child is growing up? Or child have some prolonged illness as he's growing up? All these factors can result into hearing loss for a child. Number one, I'd like to say that for all of us, it's good that we do what we call annual hearing assessment. You check your hearing regularly to know the status of your hearing. For adults, what they will know, if it's not those that have some severe loss, what you begin to be aware of is reduced hearing over time. Reduced hearing over time, and that's age-related, or that could be hereditary. So people will come out when they begin to say, I'm not hearing as I used to hear before. They have their hearing checked. So, but there are some causes, some situations that people know, I'm having hearing loss. Somebody that have a toxic kind of hearing loss, fell sick, and after recovery from illness, he discovered he's not hearing very well again. Someone who works in a noisy environment, he will discover the time when he leaves the environment, he's not hearing very well. So those ones, they have reasons why they should seek for help. That look, I'm not hearing the way I used to hear before. But for most individuals, this thing could be a gradual thing. For those that may have what we call congenital hearing loss, that's they were born with it. The first thing we do, or they should be done, is a complete assessment of the person's hearing, of the child's hearing. There are types of hearing loss, there are degrees of hearing loss, and all these need to be studied very well. You need to know the type. The type will determine the treatment for the child. The degree of hearing loss will also determine the kind of treatment the child will need. We will say with some little confidence that for any type of hearing loss, no matter the degree or the type, there's a treatment for it, there's a solution for it. It may depend on how easy the solution or the treatment could be, but it's the solution that's meant for virtually any type or degree of hearing loss today. there are few conditions. Number one, the degree of hearing loss. If it's a profound one, hearing loss may not provide good amplification. And when I say good amplification, you are talking of speech understanding and speech discrimination. The essence of using an amplification device is to make speech intelligible. So if I am speaking to you, you see hearing aid, but you cannot discriminate what I'm saying. You cannot get a clear understand what I'm saying. That means that hearing aid is not useful. And for those with profound hearing loss, hearing aid of today may not give a good intelligibility of speech they are hearing. So you are talking of somebody with some 90 dB losses going down. Hearing aid may not give a quality help for such individual. So hearing will not help. And so therefore, you think of something else that can help the child. And that's when we now think of cochlear implant. So for such individual. So cochlear implant surgery is the option for those with profound hearing losses. And that's why I say virtually anyone with whatever type or degree of hearing loss can be helped. Number one, it does not really affect any organs, physically speaking. But when somebody loses his hearing, the eye tends to take over the function of the ear. Not that the eye is really hearing, but the eye is now doing more than just seeing. And that's why we talk of lip readings. So the patient begins to use their eyes to lip the lip of the speaker. And for some persons with hearing loss, they become very good lip reader, and they could just tell you what you are saying and follow your conversation just by reading your lip. So if one loses hearing, like the eyes works better, become more useful to such individual. Does government really know that there are people with hearing loss? There is national policy on hearing loss and hearing care. Are they following the policy? You discover they are not following the policy. And government has to be much more involved. When we talk of neonatal hearing screening, government is supposed to push it, make it happen. You see some government hospitals, they don't have enough equipment even to do that kind of programs. And if you find that more children are being born in government hospitals than private hospitals. So government has to do more. When it talks of this hearing aid you're having, over 70% persons with hearing loss that needs hearing aid, more than 70% cannot afford it. Responses to sound in the environment, and if child is found to have hearing loss, get the child assessed, good assessment to find out if there's hearing loss.
I want to use this medium to reach out to parents of deaf children that we should please stop keeping these children at home, reach out to them, teach them. Education is important for them too. We have influential deaf people in our community that are doing very well.
I know it's a financial burden of so many families. It's not easy. But the best thing is that get the problem solved.
For the fact that a child is deaf, or for the fact that a child has speech disability or something, shouldn't make you be ashamed of these children and keep them in the house.
To help the child, just embark on the treatment. Get the problem solved. The problem can be solved.
Just imagine if my parents had said, okay, for the fact that my hearing has been affected when I was still in primary school, we would have been the teacher of this beautiful girl we have here now.
Let the child be fitted with hearing aids. Let the child get cochlear implant if it needs to be, so that the child can develop language, the child can grow normally, the child can go through school normally and become somebody in life.
So please, let's encourage these children to come to school.
Without giving the child all this skill, the child becomes a liability to the family, a liability to the society.